Right, so I'm going to have another go at a different design of one of these oval pendants. And how I'm going about it is I've got a face plate and I did my biggest offset and drew a oval on it. From that worked out the centre of that oval and drew a grid. So I know I've got, relative to the centre of the faceplate and the chuck as it rotates, I've got a centre. And then for the blank I'm using a square piece of wood with the same kind of grid on it, and I've got my centres. In this case I've got 4 centres, 1, 2, 3 and 4. They're all 5mm across and going 5mm at a time. So I know I've got a centre, a feature. In this case I've got, on this first centre I've got 2 features. I've got that circular feature, little dome, and an oval. On the second centre I've got a slightly bigger oval, so I'll have to, for the first oval all I need to do, I don't change this centre, I just change the offset by 5mm, which will give me a 20 by 30 oval. Then I go down to my, then I have to, this is just held on with hot glue, so I'll take this off using alcohol, recenter on my second centre, and I've got the marks on the sides and at the top to get it in line with my grid on my faceplate. I'll recenter on that second centre, increase the offset to 7.5, which then gives me a slightly bigger oval, but on that same vertical, there's so many uses of the word axis, which is offset from the centre of the finished pendant by 5mm, and that'll give me this second feature, this second oval. Then after that I take it back off. You spend more time, it's like 30 seconds a cut and 5 minutes taking this off and waiting for the alcohol to dry off and putting it back on. But that's the nature of this, because you want as light a weight as possible on this chuck. Really, I've got a slight wobble. The wobble, by the way, it is adjustable, but I'm not going to bother for this. It's working out, because by adjusting the tightness of the dovetail, you affect the distance between these 2 screws on the faceplate. So you more or less, if you adjust it enough, it's only like a 1/10 of a millimetre or something, the wobble, but you know, that's what makes the noise. Ideally, if you didn't have any wobble, if you had a very tight play on your chuck, this wouldn't make that clunking noise that a lot of them do. It's just not, I won't say bad engineering, but it's just a little bit of wobbling, but you can get away with it apparently. So the third feature is this bigger oval, which is, I know, a 10mm offset. So it's the same oval as the finished pendant, but offset 5mm to the side, so it'll come off the edge of the, and 5mm up, so it'll come off the edge of the first the final oval. And I'm hoping to get the effect a bit like an oval version of a souracre shell, although I'm not going to do so much in cutting. I'm just going to put grooves in for now. I've got to really think more before I go on to more sophisticated things. And then the fourth centre, which is the centre of this block, this wooden block, I've got a 10mm border on each side. I should explain, I've got a blob of glue in each corner and a larger blob of glue in the centre, because when I finally part off on that final centre, the centre of this whole pendant, the pendant will be just held on by the glue at the back of this pendant, and it doesn't have to be a massive blob of glue. I found it holds on probably with a 15mm circle of hot glue on the back of there. It holds it on fine, and it also holds these to stop them from flying off, so everything works out. So I'm set up for the first one, and I'll just ensure everything's right, and I'll film the next bit in a minute. Using the other one as a depth guide, that looks fine, and I'm finding the point tool to be the most useful for doing these as I'm doing them at the moment, although that's going to change. So now I need to set an offset of 5 and do that. So I know I'm good now. It looks about the same depth, I like that. So now I've got to take it off and move on to the second centre, and that'll be in the next part of the video, the next part of this series.